Welcome to episode 42 of Two Guys, One Sport. My name is Chris.
I'm George. Chris, it's a weird day where I'm defending Roman Reigns on Twitter, but it's been that kind of a day.
I saw you mention this before, but I didn't get a chance to see it. What happened? I need to hear about this.
Someone was talking about Reigns and Brock, and I was like, that's a 5-star match if it doesn't have the fuck finish.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania in 2015, and it's a 5-star match if it doesn't have the fuck finish.
Mm-hmm.
But and I am not. I don't think my Roman Reigns position can be any clearer on this show. But I mean, I am not a Roman Reigns fan, but I also own eyes that work. I know what a good wrestling match is. Like, I know what a 5-star match looks like. You know, that was a fucking 5-star match if it wasn't for the fuck finish. And the fuck finish wasn't Roman's fault, and the fuck finish wasn't Brock's fault. You know, like the only reason I didn't give that match 5 stars was because of the way it ended. I can't give a match with a fucking bullshit finish a 5-star. 5 stars. I can't.
Hi, Seth Rollins.
If the CM Punk John Cena match ended with Del Rio cashing in at Money in the Bank 2011, that wouldn't have been 5 stars because it would have been a fuck finish. You know,
like fuck finish is actively
like by default. You can't. In my book, there's not a lot of disqualifiers. This isn't like figure skating, you know, where like if you miss the triple sow chow, you lose a 10th of a point. You know, they have like that's not how my star ratings work. Not anyone's star ratings work. But one of the hard and fast rules I have is when you have a fuck finish that sets the company back 3+ years, you can't get the full 5.
No, not at all.
But the point is, like, I am not a Roman Reigns fan, but I have eyes. I know what a good match looks like. Like, that was a good match.
Yes.
And anyone who's saying otherwise is just kind of strange to me. But, you know.
Nah, what are you going to
do? Whatever. I mean, I go at it with people all day on Twitter, so what the hell?
Yeah. You know? That's like our standard practice these days.
That's what we do.
Yeah. So,
I mean,
for those of
you're allowed to not like the guy. I don't like the guy, but you can't take away that was an awesome match.
Indeed.
And him smiling with a bloody smile is a big reason why that was an awesome match.
Absolutely, yes.
And him spamming Superman punches because that's the only card he has to play is an awesome part of the match. Like, the match is so good. You know what? I may make that a match of the week in the near future.
Nice.
The match is so great, and he's a huge reason why.
Yeah.
So, like,
I've talked about that match as the match of the week. I'd be interested to hear your perspective on it too.
You're allowed to love a guy. You're allowed to hate a guy, but at least base your rationale in reality. It's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for a lot. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
makes sense.
Like that's it. That's it. So, what about you? How's your day?
I'm glad to be home. I was in Pittsburgh for the past 4 days. You know, it was nice to be away. Good to see family. It was a good time. But it was bitter. I mean, granted, it's bitter cold here in New York too. It was bitter cold in Pittsburgh. So
it's like 12 degrees here, and then that's like 15 degrees warmer than it was yesterday.
Yeah, it's like 17.
Like I woke up this morning, I was like, oh, 6. Great.
Yeah. But I mean, it's good to be home, and it's good to be here. I mean, for those of you who didn't listen last week, I did this kind of on a whim because I finally was able to record the sound clips I needed. But we have a new intro to the show for those of you who listen to the iTunes version of the show or on SoundCloud. There's a new intro to the show which declares just exactly how smart George and I are.
You should play it. Can you play it? Do you have it? Or
I can't.
You know what, people? Download it on iTunes.
Yeah, or go to
SoundCloud. Or to SoundCloud. And if you're on iTunes, why don't you give us a nice rec? Give us some stars.
Yeah, definitely.
Just saying. Nice subscription.
I mean, we tell you to do it every week, but this is all the more reason to. We make
all Mariah Carey wants for Christmas is you, and all I want for Christmas is some iTunes subscriptions. That's it.
Yeah. We made a fancy new introduction just for you guys because you guys are the best. So
yeah, you're the reason we do this.
The least you could do is go and listen to it. But more importantly than that, today we're closing out the year with the Big Dome Show.
1 week from today is Wrestle Kingdom 12. And we have all of the words to talk about the show. But first, my friend, you have a match of the week. Do you want to go first or should I?
You go first this week.
My match for the week is courtesy of WXW. They put the finals of the 16 karat gold 2017 tournament on YouTube for a day.
Oh,
and
God,
I watched it.
I can't believe I missed that. Oh, I heard about it and I missed it.
It was Ilya Dragunov versus your friend and mine, Mr. Walter, stylized in all capital letters.
God, I wanted.
Before we go any further,
so
friend of the show, 14 Fitzpatrick had an awesome point, and he said this on Twitter, and I want to give him full attribution. He goes, 12 minutes into this match, watching it for the first time, I'm getting Jumbo Tsuruta versus Mitsuharu Misawa from June 1990 vibes from this match. The upstart versus a veteran who is a moving wall of death that chops folks. Every now and again, you see something on Twitter, you're like, God damn, that's a good thought. Wish I had thought of that.
Yeah.
It's a great comparison, my friend. 90 All Japan, Jumbo versus Misawa. It's almost like our Godfather knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Almost.
Never would have guessed.
Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? The guy's been watching wrestling for as long as he has known what he's talking about. Walter comes out with ring comp. It's Timothy Thatcher and someone else who I always forget. And they're in their big coats. I always know it's Tim Thatcher. Ilya Dragunov is the babyest babyface who ever babyfaced, which is great because Walter is, death destroyer of worlds.
Yeah.
These guys just chop the shit out of each other. Poor Ilya's pec is bloody.
Yep.
From the chops.
Yeah. The same thing that happened when Walter faced Matt Riddle at Progress.
I mean, his pec looked like hamburger meat.
Yeah.
Just ripped and bloody and red and
meat tenderizer.
It was great. And all the crowd wanted was Ilya to knock the guy off his feet. And he finally did about 8 minutes into the match, and they lost their minds. Great little callback. Walter goes for his sleeper, his standing sleeper, after about 6 million chops. Ilya grabs the ropes. Walter chops Ilya's forearms off the ropes and hits him with a German suplex about 4 minutes into the match.
Jesus.
At the end of the match, Walter goes for the sleeper again. This time he's much, much more worse for wear. Ilya grabs the ropes. Walter chops his hands off the ropes, but Ilya holds on with one hand because he's the babyest babyface who ever babied. He fires back and he starts his comeback. Man, I love a good story. Wrestling life is so easy for me, Chris. I need dudes who beat the shit out of each other and I need cool stories. That's it. Flippy-do shit's nice. Every now and again, you want to watch some flippy-do shit, but every now and again, you want to watch just a good story. Walter owning this guy and tons of Let's Go Ilya chants. Just for comparison, you know what Walter looks like? He's just this big, thick, burly German guy.
Yeah, he's bigger than me, and I'm a pretty freaking big guy.
Looks like the bad guy in Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
Just that big, menacing, Teutonic-looking dude.
If you remember, if anybody needs context, if you've ever remember, the Fantastic Four movies were terrible. If you remember what it looked like when Michael Chiklis was playing The Thing, and just that stone-faced expression, no pun intended, but that stone-faced expression from The Thing when Michael Chiklis was playing The Thing, that's what Walter looks like all the time.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would be like if. I don't even know. He doesn't even have a look that's comparable to anyone in WWE.
It's not.
Because he's not ripped, but he's just broad.
Yeah, but he's also not barrel like Braun.
No. He's in shape. Don't get me wrong. He works out. He looks like what Mark Henry would look like if Mark Henry lost 50 pounds.
Yeah.
And was obviously German instead of African American. But that same stature, just big arms, big legs, big chest, just big. You know what I'm saying? Just like this big ass guy who will just beat the crap out of you and then finish his beer at the bar.
Yeah.
So
the dude has a presence to him, like you wouldn't
absolutely
believe.
He does. And you know what? We screwed up, you and I, and friend of the show Don Sal. Sorry, Sal. We should have added him on our best brawler because this guy is an unbelievable brawler.
Yeah, he is.
That was all of our oversights. That I'm guilty as charged there.
That's all right.
He's great, and he's an awesome seller too. Not only is his offense vicious as hell, but just the running boot. Did he do the running boot against Riddle, where he just throws that big boot and people just die?
I don't remember. He might have.
So he throws. He throws
Riddle
Ilya.
Is short enough that he could have done it.
He throws Ilya, and Ilya looks like James Ellsworth with a better body. So you'd have a comparison as to what these two guys look like. Walter has him beat by 70 pounds. He throws Ilya into the corner, and everything Walter does is stiff. He'd be the most over guy in Japan if he went to Japan full time. He throws Ilya into the corner.
I still have a dream match of one day. I know it'll never happen, but a dream match one day of Walter versus Shibata.
Oh yeah, it would be.
Nobody would leave the ring alive, but it would be an amazing match.
Building alive. Just all sorts of, and Ilya's just doing whatever he can. He's fighting back. Walter knocks him down. He drags himself back up, and Walter's just, come on, kid. And Ilya just slaps him in the face, and Walter gets mad and throws the boot to death. But Ilya just won't stay down, and he finally does his flying uppercut thing, which I think is his finish. And Walter gets the 2, and Ilya drags him up and hits it again and gets the 3, and it's all the fighting spirit in the world. It's so indie-rific, and I mean that as a compliment. Walter's great. Ilya's great. This match was so good. I would highly recommend watching it. It made a lot of people's top 10s. I can see why. I think it's in my honorable mention, only because 2017 was so goddamn good.
Yeah.
I mean, oh, man. Walter's just my dude now.
I'm sure if I watched it, it would make my top 20 without a doubt.
Oh, easily.
This is an easy entry. This is an easy George entry into the, if not.
Oh my God! It just features 2 guys just beating the shit out of each. I'm a simple man, Chris.
Yep.
I'm a simple man, and Walter's so damn good. He is just bright future.
My favorite Walter moment of the year, undoubtedly. Hey, it wasn't even him in the ring for this. But at Evolve 94, when Thatcher was facing Darby Allin, and Darby Allin finally fucking beat Thatcher, to the shock of Thatcher and Stoke. They were both just completely out of their minds. And Walter was standing there the whole time watching the match, just stone-faced. And his expression never changed. Even when Thatcher lost, his expression never changed. He was just staring daggers into Thatcher the whole fucking time. And then Thatcher gets up after he lost and is in shock. And he's talking to Stoke, and Stoke is trying to try to console him. And then he suddenly looks and realizes, oh shit, that's my boss. And he's that's when he's apologizing to Stoke, I'm sorry, I have to go. And Stoke gives him this big hug because Stoke realizes, oh God, I've lost Thatch. And he gives him this big hug, and Thatch is just yeah, man, but I gotta go. And just walks away to follow after Walter. It's just Walter, just no emotion, no expression, but he is easily the most intimidating and terrifying force in the whole room there. And you can make a guy even as big as
the original Ring Comp featured what's his name?
Alexander Wolf.
And another guy from NXT, Axel Teicher, but I forget his NXT
name. That's Alexander Wolf.
And Axel Dieter Jr. I know there's Axel 2 WWE guys.
Yeah, Axel Dieter Jr. is
because at NXT didn't have a taping and they went back to WXW. Yeah. Alexander Wolf and this other guy whose name I'm forgetting.
Yeah, Axel Dieter Jr. Is now in NXT.
Yeah, let's see.
He's appeared in a couple of the Ask the PC videos that they do on Twitter and YouTube. But he's going to be coming out soon. I think he actually debuted at the last set of tapings and will actually be making his NXT TV debut soon. So keep an eye out for that.
Awesome. Next taping I think starts next week, right? I think is the next set of tapings.
No, the next taping will be after Philly, which is after the Rumble.
I thought they were doing the center stage stuff real soon.
Or maybe it is. Maybe,
I thought it was. Whatever.
Because they have one in Atlanta to take us through the and then they have UCF after that. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So yeah, this match ruled. So good. Yeah. Just hit me right in the wrestling sweet spot. Mm-hmm. I would be in for Walter in New Japan all day.
I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up in
my
2018.
my dream is just pick an awesome foreigner, whether it's like Walter or Riddle or Cobb, and just give him the unaligned Shibata role. Not everything needs to, I know Ghetto loves his stables, and we'll talk about that when we get to the Dome Show preview. But you know what? I think it'd be that much cooler if you just had this big menacing, foreigner, Caucasian, just unaffiliated, just causing death and destruction no matter who he runs into.
Yeah.
I think that you could just open up the possibilities there. So, but alas.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah, is what it is.
All right.
What you got?
Well, we're finishing off the If Not 2017 series this week. You added a match to that unwittingly.
I did, and this match was awesome.
Yeah, thank you for that. But we're finishing it off this week with a match that fills something I'm sure a lot of viewers have been asking themselves about this series as it has gone on. Specifically, Chris, where's the women's wrestling? And more specifically, where is Stardom? Because we haven't talked about Stardom in months. And at least not, in any, big name capacity. So here we are. My match of the week in the If Not 2017 series was my number 11 match for my top 10 of the year. This one was the one that barely didn't make the cut. And that is Io Shirai versus Toni Storm from the 5-Star Grand Prix. This match took place on August 20th of this year at the Shinkaba First Ring in Tokyo. This was the third time that Io and Toni had faced each other this year. And their first two matches had both gone to time limit draws. And this one, spoiler alert, also went to a time limit draw. But holy shit, this may be the best time limit draw I've ever seen in any wrestling match ever.
Really? Wow.
Better than Omega Okada 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it 30, 60? How long was it?
15.
15. Love it. Love me some short matches.
Yeah. So groundwork here. At Stardom, they always do pre-match. Usually they do pre-match interviews for the headlining match and any other significant matches on the card. And in the pre-match interviews, Toni talked about how Io was just back from her neck surgery and how she was going to go after the neck. And Io was all business, talking about how this is all business because it's for the GP and none of the other details matter about this. But right out the gate, you see that's not true, because as soon as they finish up the ring announcements and they go for the pre-match handshake, Io just puts her hand up in the air and turns her back on Toni, because this is a blood feud, and everybody knows it.
Oh, thank God. Nothing worse than when a blood feud starts to lock up.
Oh, no, it gets even better. As soon as the bell rings, Toni hits Io with a big boot right to the face right out the gate, because it's a blood feud.
Yeah!
And they both know it. And then immediately tries to hit her with the spike pile driver to end the match in the first minute, and Io makes her escape.
That makes such perfect sense.
Toni is immediately going after the neck the whole fucking match. She's testing the neck in every way that she can. She's putting Io into backslides. She's hitting her with all the face wash kicks that she can muster up. Every single time she can get a strike in on the neck, she is going for the neck. And Io is off balance because she keeps getting hung up on the ropes. Her neck keeps getting hung up on the ropes by Toni, and Toni keeps going for strikes on it. Eventually, Toni, after another 2 count, Toni starts putting Io into neck stretches. And this is one of the first matches of the year. Well, not the first match, but this is one of the most significant matches of the year since going all the way back to January, since Io faced Shayna Baszler, where we had Io as face in peril. The whole rest of the year, we've always had, cocky, in command heel Io. But she was hurting. She was in trouble, and it showed. The whole first third of this match, the first 5 minutes, was all Toni Storm. Entirely in command, until Io could finally mount a comeback with the surprise handspring dropkick, follows it up with another missile dropkick, and then works in a crossface, because she knows she needs to keep Toni off the neck. She's smart, and she knows she needs to rest the neck, give it as much time as it can to work the pain out, and keep Toni off of it. So she puts her in a crossface and does not let go. She's wrenching her back like Sasha Banks does in the bank statement. It looks
nice thing
amazing.
about women's matches is so much more flexible. Every submission looks
It's fucking looks devastating. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Toni works out of it and goes right back to striking the neck every chance she can get, and eventually gets Io in a crossface of her own. And it looked brutal as hell. There are like a good 15 seconds where Io had her hand up like she was about to tap. She was ready. She like even brought her hand close to the neck to tap out, and then like willed herself to stop. The most fighting spirit you've ever seen from Io Shirai in any match ever, and somehow manages to wriggle her way back so she can get her foot on the ropes. But Toni doesn't let go of the crossface and holds it in until the 5 count is up, and she has to let go or else risk the disqualification. Finally, Io gets back up, starts to make another comeback, hits the inverted face buster. Moonsault is interrupted. Toni hits her with a buckle bomb. Double knee strike by Toni blocked. Io goes for the hip attack, then goes for the handstand corner kick, but Io picks her up out of the air, reverses into an Alabama slammer. 2 count again. Toni goes right back for a hip attack of her own. A fisherman suplex, foot on the ropes from Io. Toni goes up to the top rope. Io strikes back, forearms from Io. Headbutt from Toni. They're going back and forth. Reverse Frankensteiner from Io Shirai right into a drop kick. They're both down on the mat. They're both out, getting hit with the 10 count by the ref. They both somehow make it back to their feet. Forearm exchanges, slaps from Io, boots from Toni, headbutts from Toni. She goes for the spike pile driver again, but it's reversed by Io into a double stomp, hits the bridging German suplex. No good. Goes for the moonsault. Toni rolls out. Nobody home. Crossface from Toni is back on. Io's fighting not to tap once again, but Toni wrenches back even further, and Io almost passes out. Toni gets up, goes for the pile driver. Io is dead weight. She can't even get her off her feet. Toni finally lifts her up. Io finally pushes herself up. Toni hits her with a headbutt, hits her with the pile driver just as the bell rings for a time limit draw.
Just like Okada Omega.
Yep.
It's the Rainmaker, and you can't make the cover.
Yep. And it was, and just like in Okada Omega, Omega hit the one-winged angel, and Okada got his foot on the rope. Oh my God! The last 5 minutes of this match was some of the best back and forth wrestling I have seen from any 2 wrestlers in the world. Just the constant exchange, the 2 of them just hitting every bomb that they have in their arsenal, drawing every little bit out of their reserves. These 2 pulled everything out in the kitchen sink to try and put each other away because they knew this was the moment where they had to prove it. Because this was the moment, like, whichever one of them won, because this was only the 2nd match in the tournament, whichever one of them won was going to have a decisive advantage going through to the end of the block because they were the top 2 in their block, and they knew it. They knew it. And they were the top 2, and they knew it was going to be one of them, and whoever could best the other one was going to have that much better of a chance of getting through to the end. But the draw leaves it undecided. And it continues undecided to this day because Toni Storm has won the World of Stardom Championship. She won it from Mayu Iwatani on an injury finish. But Toni's been off doing Progress stuff. She only just recently came back to Stardom for their year-end events and for Yoko Bito's retirement. So, who knows? We may be having another red belt versus white belt match soon because Io Shirai is the current Wonder of Stardom champion. Toni Storm is the current World of Stardom champion. We may have another event where the 2 belts are united on one person again. It's been a very long time since that's happened. So, who knows? This could be very interesting times coming into 2018 for Stardom. But yeah, I mean, this match, if you have not seen the Io Shirai versus Toni Storm series of matches, I can't recommend them enough. They're all great matches. But this one, despite being the shortest one of the series, is still easily the best because every second counts in this match. Every second is telling a vital piece of the story, and it is so gripping. Edge of your seat, and white knuckle nail biter of a match from start to finish. And I can't recommend it enough. One of the 3 best women's wrestling matches that I've seen all year.
Nice.
And like I said,
some guys and ladies just work really well together.
Yeah, these two work incredibly well together. Yeah, it's funny. 2 out of my 3 best women's wrestling matches of the year both involve Io Shirai. You'd think she was pretty good at this thing, huh?
I imagine she's got a future at this gimmick.
Yeah, who knew?
Who knew? Breaking news. That's the kind of insights you only get here on this show. Io Shirai, good at wrestling. No other show will tell you that, ladies and gentlemen. Just this one.
Yep.
That's the kind of hard-hitting, that's the kind of fearless, out on the limb analysis that you get here on this show. Is that Io Shirai pretty good at professional wrestling?
Whoever would have guessed.
Breaking news. No.
What a shock. All right. Let's
Wrestle
talk
Kingdom.
about
Dome.
The Dome. Wrestle Kingdom 12.
Do you have any grand thoughts about this show before we go match by match?
Well, I promised in the description of the video, if you hit that little description on the video below, you'll see that I promised a lot of tangents about about how we're probably going to be gushing about how good New Japan has been in 2017 and about how much they're gonna still be amazing in 2018. And I mean, if this show isn't emblematic of that, I don't know what is, because this is fucking amazing.
I don't think the 4 matches at the top of this show are going to be as good as the 4 matches from last year's Wrestle Kingdom. Kushida and Hiromu Takahashi I remember watching that match, but like, holy shit, how the hell is anyone going to top this?
Yeah,
and then Shibata Goto, and I was like, holy hell, how is anyone going to top this? And then Naito and Tanahashi, which was like 5th on my match of the year. And going, holy shit, there's no way the main event's going to top this. And then the main event was awesome. Like, it just built one. I don't think the 4 matches in this show are going to top the 4 matches in last year's show in terms of an in-ring bell-to-bell spectacle. But I believe the build has been better.
Yes,
for these matches.
Agree with, yes.
The build for these 4 matches, I think, has been better.
Especially
the
because
themselves may not be as good in terms of spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that how we got here has been a better job.
Especially because
all called back. Everything is just everything. This is what a year-end show should be. This is a year-end show. 2017 is climaxing with this show for New Japan, and everything throughout the year has built up to the Dome. WrestleMania used to be like this years ago, where like the entire year's spectacle has climaxed in WrestleMania. Now WrestleMania basically just starts the Rumble. Yeah. Maybe Survivor Series, maybe. But before, like when I was a kid, WrestleMania used to be like shit from the year before, Like the Moxina was the exception, not the rule. Or it was the rule, not the exception.
Some of these builds have been going since Wrestle Kingdom 11. They've been building for the whole year up to this moment.
Okada Naito, when they're cutting promos on each other, are calling back to their feud in 2013.
Yeah,
like so. Just the way that this is just and Ghetto is a brilliant man, because he has given the obstacles that he's dealt with this year. No Shibata, no Hanma. It has really just been a testament to how long-term booking can work.
Yes. And
I am more excited for this show than I have been for any show in years.
Yes.
Including shows I've gone to. So it just has been, especially the second half of the show, everything from Suzuki on, it should be But we'll get there. We'll go match for match.
Yeah.
So, what are your overarching thoughts of this show?
I look at this card, and there are very few, like the number of things I have to complain about on this card, I could count on one hand. And the number of things that I have to be happy about on this card would require both yours and my hands and feet, plus probably another couple of people.
The only things I'm upset about are the things that New Japan doesn't care about. New Japan doesn't care about tag team wrestling.
Yeah.
They don't. So getting pissed at them not caring about tag team wrestling is like getting pissed at WWE for having Michael Cole shout WWE Universe over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
It's just that's almost on you at this point. Expecting good heavyweight tag team wrestling on a New Japan is a fool's errand. It just won't happen. It's just not something they do. Too bad. It's a shame, but it just comes to the territory at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but they're making it work.
Yeah,
that's what matters.
And this is a loaded roster right now.
Yeah,
I know some people are leaving after the Dome, and we'll get there. But like, this is just a loaded roster, and like almost too loaded.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know you have thoughts on the Rumble. I have almost no thoughts on the Rumble.
I'm more just thinking in speculation because I think back to last year's New Japan Rumble, and I hate to talk about scumbags, but Michael Elgin won last year's New Japan Rumble. And he entered at number 1 and used that win as he was returning from injury. He entered at number 1 and won the whole thing.
And I remember wanted zero part of it. That was the best part.
Mm-hmm.
Like, last year's Rumble was Elgin defeating Billy Gunn, Bone Soldier, Cheeseburger, Hiro Saito, Hiroshi Tenzan, Jushin Liger, Kobayashi, Nakanishi, a bunch of old dudes.
Scott Norton.
Yeah,
Norton was the big name.
Scott Norton
from the past.
Made me happy.
Yeah, Norton was the big name from the past who was showing up for the big pop. But that was all. I mean, other than that, the Rumble was all Elgin, and it was Elgin plus Cheeseburger comedy.
Yeah,
and Scott Norton. That was the substance of the Rumble. But this year, I feel like they could do something a little bit more substantive with it and have it be something worthwhile. Because you're going to have the dads in it too, but you've also got a lot of guys on the Young Lions side who likely should be in the Rumble, like Kitamura and Oka and Kawato, and even a guy like Leo Tonga can make a big deal in the Rumble. But at the same token, you've also got a lot of guys from that stable warfare who aren't making the card for a number of different reasons. Guys like Yoshihashi, guys like Yujiro Takahashi, and
El Desperado,
Taka Michinoku, Bushi.
Yeah, like a lot of it's such a bloated roster.
Yeah,
like I think bloated is like the perfect word for it.
Yeah, so
dudes are going to be in there, and not
obviously the dads are going to be in there.
Kojima, Jushin Liger,
Tenzan.
And there's going to be like one or two like really old dudes, like Fujiwara from last year or 2 years ago, and like maybe even like the Great Kabuki or something. I mean, there's always like one or two like
I don't know. I mean,
guys.
They only have 20 spots, and like the number of guys who are in the company right now who are like actively doing things, kind of means that there aren't really that many nostalgia spots. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Just like how in last year's,
I think the nostalgia spots are the dads at this point.
I mean, like just like how in last year's Royal Rumble, there were no surprise out of nowhere returns of Hall of Famers. Like the only like old guys in the Rumble were Goldberg and Undertaker.
Yeah, but they were both billed for it.
And they were both being built for other things.
Yeah, and they were neither one of them were surprises.
Yeah.
Goldberg, I'm almost positive Goldberg was the first guy who announced himself for the Rumble after he beat Brock.
Exactly, yeah.
Like the Raw after Survivor Series, he said, "I'm gonna be in the Rumble."
Yeah.
So
I think that in this case we are gonna end up in a situation where there won't be any surprise names here from the past or just random ROH dudes or CMLL dudes. I think that we're going to have a New Japan Rumble that's going to be all New Japan people that are all going to be substantive to this. As for who I think wins it, I mean, we know Kitamura's about to go on excursion.
He's going to the U.S. He's going to Europe or the U.S.? I forget.
I think he's coming to the U.S. first.
Nice, my boy. Nothing more
might,
than I love than a big jacked up dude who throws people around.
Yeah, so you might get to see him at your local bingo hall coming soon.
Yeah, makes me happy.
But as for who I think wins this, I'm looking at these names who are in this, and call me crazy, but I think
for you. Give me your name.
I think Hangman Page wins this.
Ooh, that's a good name.
Because
that's a strong name.
Because I don't see them not using him for something going forward with Bullet Club, as Bullet Club is about to be feuding with Taguchi Japan. I'm pretty sure going forward, Bullet Club is going to be feuding with Taguchi Japan. And then, or actually, no. Wait, let me see. Yeah, it is because it's going to be Chaos versus Lij and Chaos versus Suzuki Gun. So I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to be Bullet Club versus Taguchi Japan, which is pretty in line with some of the matches that we've already got here. Marty Scurll and Kushida have got a budding rivalry. Cody versus Kota Ibushi. I mean, the Bucks are facing Roppongi 3K, who are part of Chaos, but I think that the major challengers for the Never Openweight titles are going to end up being the Taguchi Japan team. So I think that we're going to be seeing Hangman Page winning this, and that's starting some sort of storyline here for Hangman Page being a major part of Bullet Club's coming feud with Taguchi Japan. So who do you think?
I think they're going to give it to Yuji Nagata as a thank you for the year he's had and the career he's had.
I certainly would not be surprised by that either.
After the G1 he had where he was just exemplary.
Yeah. And everything that Nagata has done this year has been exemplary.
He's had such a great year. And not even a great year for an old guy. I'm not even grading on that curve. He's had a great year for anybody.
Yeah. It's a great year, period.
He's had a top 10 year in this company in terms of in-ring ability.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's like the 8th best wrestler on my ballot in terms of in-ring ability for this year. Mm-hmm. And he's had almost no opportunity other than the G1. But his G1 was just so damn good. And he's been so good in his tags that it wouldn't surprise me if he wins.
It was spectacular, yeah. He had an incredible 2017.
A friend of the show, Don Cell, says maybe Bushi and then Lij with the clean sweep. Wouldn't shock me at all if Lij wins. I mean, Lij is probably going to win the rest of these matches.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't shock me if Bushi is the odd man out.
Yeah, but Bushi using surprise tactics to get himself the win. I would not be shocked by that either.
Shocking. I like Bushi. I don't love him. I think he's a little sloppy, and not in the cool Takahashi way of being sloppy. Almost like the reckless sloppy. But every stable's got to have a weak point.
Yeah, and if your weak point in your stable is Bushi, you're definitely doing something
absolutely.
Right. Because I mean, he's still great in a lot of ways.
He's still very good. Exactly. He's not garbage. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, we're not talking about Yujiro here, who is
I like the match where he beat Kushida for his junior. I think he beat Kushida for his junior heavyweight belt, like in 2016. I remember enjoying the match a lot.
He did. That was
November of 2016. I want to say.
Yeah, that was the big junior feud for the second half of 2016, leading into Hiromu's reintroduction and the Hiromu Kushida feud that started in 2017.
I remember enjoying that match a lot.
Yeah.
You could be like, yes, it's Kushida, and Kushida's excellent, but it does take two to tango.
Yeah.
So I think Nagata could be coming out of left field with this one.
Yeah. There's any number of ways that this can go. Yeah. I would not be surprised by it.
Fine. I won't watch it for a couple weeks, probably. But, I won't watch it till the weekend of the show or the weekend after the show.
I think
unless I get up at like 1 a.m. that day and just watch wrestling for a few hours before I go to work.
If it is going to be a thing of substance, I think you'll see that starting to result right away at New Year's Dash and at New Beginning. I think you're gonna start.
New Year's Dash is that Friday, right?
Yeah, New Year's Dash is the very next day.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think you'll start to see that immediately thereafterwards, if that is going to be a thing that start to build substance off of, like they did with Elgin last year.
Okay.
So, all right.
Main show opener. Roppongi 3K, your defending IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions of Show and Yo with their manager, Rocky Romero, versus your friends and mine, or at least my friends, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. Chris, what you got?
I'm going to say that the titles are going to stay on Roppongi 3K because they have been sensational since their arrival, and I don't think that it's the right time to pull the belts off of them.
See, I can go on.
I think that this is going to be an opportunity for them to maybe liven up the junior tag division by introducing some new players. And I don't think you can do that with the Young Bucks continuing to have a stranglehold on the belt. This would be their 7th time holding the belts, I want to say. Either 7th or 8th. Something ridiculous like that. Let me just see.
It's at least 5. At least, if not more.
They hold the record for a number of rates. Yeah, 6. This would be so if they win it here, this would be their 7th rate with the belts. Which is ridiculous. You need to have an opportunity for some new teams to get introduced into the mix, and I think that the right way to do that is to keep the belts on Roppongi 3K and let them be the ones to keep the division, in new life.
I think the Bucks. See, if it were me, I would have the Bucks win this match, and then have Roppongi 3K win the belts back at Sakura Genesis, like 3rd from the top. In a big blow-off, 18-minute crazy... Because this match is going to be like 12 minutes long. It's the opening match of the main show. There's going to have no heat because the place is going to be half empty. And that building sucks the life out of a crowd anyways because it's so big. Even if they draw 40,000, which would be astonishing if they draw 40. Last year they drew 26. The building holds like 55. Even if they draw 40, which is a great number, it's still only 2/3 full. So there's not going to be a lot of noise or a lot of crowd pop or a lot of energy, especially because this is going to be like 7 o'clock Tokyo time. And if Tokyo's transit system is anything like New York and Chicago's, people are still going to be filing in.
Tokyo's transit system is incredibly more efficient than New York and Chicago.
Tokyo's also like 7 times larger though than Chicago is. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I would almost rather have the Bucks win, Show and Yo chase, and then get the belts back for real, quote unquote, at Sakura Genesis, like 3rd from the top, in a real big spot in front of a hot crowd at Sumo Hall or Osaka-jo Hall or Hokkaido Hall or some, like a much more intimate setting to kind of give it that oomph.
Maybe,
when they finally get the belts back.
Maybe so, but you got to remember this. Much like WrestleMania was back in its heyday, before Vince McMahon, senility started to set in. Wrestle Kingdom is designed to be a babyface show, and by nature, unless there is an extreme circumstantial reason why the heel should win, the babyfaces should win the majority of the matches. And I think that opening with a heel winning, because the Bucks can get the crowd on their side with their bullshit, but they are still heels, and people are genuinely root for Roppongi 3K because
I don't know if
3K gets the crowd. Roppongi 3K gets the crowd invested in them very quickly.
Oh, they're excellent, but I don't think Matt and Nick are heels though. They're that weird gray tween. The whole Bullet Club. Other than maybe Cody himself, because no one in Japan gives a shit about Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
So it may just be apathy instead of heat, excuse me. But the only real full-blown, honest-to-God heels in this company are Suzuki-gun. Everyone else is various shades of gray.
I would argue Bad Luck Fale is still a full-blown heel.
Because he destroyed a stuffed animal.
Well, not just for that. He goes out of his way to get people that boo him by beating the shit out of Abe. And
but Bad Luck Fale is not not gonna be in this match, though. The Bucks aren't heels. I don't think Show and Yo are heels either, obviously.
No.
The Bucks may play heel in this match because someone has to. But like when push comes to shove, when they go for the Meltzer driver, people are going to pop. When they go for that weird, if they do, I mean, not necessarily hit it, but if they go for it, the crowd's going to come alive.
Remember though, recently the Bucks have been putting on serious work a limb and kick your ass style in Japan.
Makes me happy.
So maybe they're going to stick with that.
Maybe. I just wish this wasn't the opener. Like I would have much rather swapped the heavyweight match and the junior match because like all four of these guys are better than the four dudes in the heavyweight tag match. Like they just are. And like having this match be Sho and Yo's dome coronation in a 9-minute spot fest, like it just seems kind of cheap, you know? So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'd almost rather save that for a real show, quote unquote. Not a real show, a real moment, like when they're like third or fourth from the top.
Maybe,
but
who knows?
But like, who knows? But like, where do they go? Okay, so let's say Roppongi 3K wins. What happens next?
I think that's when we start to see a lot more introductions of other serious, making it seem that other teams are going to be serious title contenders. I think that if they want to, they could put another junior into LIJ, pair them with Bushi, and have them be pair contenders. Have Dragon Lee and T-Town start showing up more often, have them be contenders. Bring in MCMG from ROH, have them be contenders again because they've held the titles before. Also, really start to invest a little bit more time because Roppongi 3K, if nothing else, has shown for the past 3 months that they are worthy and deserving of being, being a major part of the card and of being deserving contenders. I mean, that match against Taguchi and ACH was absolutely incredible match.
Fun match with the ribs. Yeah.
The crowd was so into that. And I think that Sho and Yo have gone out there and kicked ass every time that they've been out in that ring, enough so that the junior tag division might actually start getting a little bit more deserving notice, especially with Best of Super Juniors once again right on the horizon. They need to start bringing some more names in there. So why not use this as an opportunity to start revitalizing the tag division, have it be something other than just the Bucks and a bunch of random rotating doors, rotating door fillers. This is the kind of show that you use to tell the crowd and tell your fan base at large, these people are important, and and this is the time for you to take notice of the environment surrounding these people that are important. Notice that environment change and start to shift to give them a little bit more purchase and notice for things. That's just me. Maybe I'm entirely going crazy with my fantasy.
You're not. But we both kind of want the same thing. We want this division to be more important than it is.
Yeah.
That Gedo and Takati and the powers that be view this as nothing more than opening match filler, which is fine. Who don't love a good spot fest to start the match, right? Yeah. The one at Power Struggle between the Bucks and Dragon Lee and Teton was a fun 12-minute spot fest, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
I just want a little more for Sho and Yo. I just think that they're that good.
Yeah, I want more for them too.
So, got any other thoughts on this?
No, that was all.
Next, Bullet Club for the gauntlet match.
Yeah.
The never open weight 6-man tag team championships. I'm almost positive, and if I'm wrong, let me know, that this match will start with 2 teams in the ring, and then as a team is eliminated, another team just takes their place, right?
Yep, exactly.
The teams are your champions, Bad Luck Fale, Tamatonga, and Tangaloa of the Bullet Club.
Mm-hmm.
For Chaos, Beretta, Tomohiro Ishii, and Toru Yano. Team Awkward, Michael Elgin and War Machine, a.k.a. Team We're Leaving New Japan after this. Suzuki-gun, Taichi, Ikuza, and Zack Sabre Jr.,
mm-hmm.
and Taguchi Japan, Juice, Ryusuke Taguchi, and Togi Makabe.
Yeah.
What do you got? I'm 99% sure War Machine's going to WWE after this, so they're not going to win.
Yeah.
And Elgin's contract is up, and New Japan has zero interest in re-signing him, given his scumbaggery.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the word. Thank you. Given his various and sundry scumbageries. So I think we can safely eliminate Team Awkward.
Yeah.
You think Juice, Taguchi, and Makabe win?
No. I think Bullet Club retains. But I think that their last opponents will be Taguchi Japan, and that Taguchi Japan is going to push them to the limits here. Much like how it was last year when last year's gauntlet match for the Never Open Weight has only 4 teams, but it started off with Bullet Club versus Chaos. Then LIJ came in after Bullet Club was eliminated. LIJ eliminated Chaos, and then LIJ won the titles off of Finlay, Ricochet, and Kojima. I think that the last team in is going to be the most significant player in the match, other than the people that leave with the belts. And I think the Bullet Club does leave with the belts, but Juice, Taguchi, and Makabe will give them a hard fight. And much like last year, there will be a second hard fight the following night at New Year's Dash that may even result in another title change. Who knows? Either way, I see Fale and the Guerrillas retaining. I see this match starting with Team Awkward and Suzuki Gun. Team Awkward getting eliminated and replaced by Chaos. Suzuki Gun getting eliminated and replaced by Taguchi Japan. And then Chaos getting eliminated and replaced by the Bullet Club, and Taguchi Japan then losing to the Bullet Club at the end. That's my full-on prediction for the order and results of this match as it proceeds.
That sounds about right. I could see either Suzuki Gun or Taguchi Japan winning this, or Bullet Club winning this. Excuse me. So give me Bullet Club. I mean, the worst kept secret in wrestling is that War Machine's going to WWE.
Yeah.
Real soon, so they're not obviously doing anything with these belts.
Yeah. Sal, you're right. Taguchi Japan does need a belt, especially Juice. I really am sad that Juice is in this position because I don't see him winning the belt here. But I think that Juice should honestly.
I like Taguchi Japan. They entertain me.
I think Juice should be getting a singles belt rather than the 6-man belts, because the 6-man belts really don't mean anything or do anything for the people holding them. Like,
I'd be okay if they got rid of that. To be honest, they just, I mean. Yeah. It was cool when it was like the Briscoes and like their random friend.
The Briscoes and Toru Yano.
Yeah, or whatever.
That was a crazy
That
team.
Was fun. Like, because the Briscoes make everything better.
Yeah. Well,
like this is.
I mean, it's funny in a lot of ways because LIJ held those belts for the majority of the year, but Bushi, Evil, and Sonata kind of advanced themselves just in spite of those belts rather than because of those belts.
The belts do nothing. They're just props. This company has.
I mean, half the time, those 3 didn't even bring the belts to the ring.
There's exactly one non-championship match on this entire show.
Yeah.
On this 4-hour show, 5-hour show, however long it is.
Yeah.
And that was a championship match until December.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know. There's too many titles. I mean, Frederick the Great said to defend everything is to defend nothing. When you have 100 titles, you have no titles.
Yeah.
It used to matter. Like, look at CMLL, where they have like 40 titles. Volador Jr. has been a champion of his division since like 2013.
Yep.
Did you even know that? Nope.
In some capacity or another, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, but at the same time, it's also
he's been like the CMLL welterweight champion since like early 2014.
Yeah.
Like, but he never defends it, so what difference does it make?
Yeah.
It's just a prop. These are just props.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. I could go. I'll meet you in the Bullet Club. I mean, right. I think it's either Bullet Club or Suzuki Gun who's going to win this.
Yeah, I don't think that they're putting a belt on Taichi because from what I've heard, I think he's actually going to be taking some time away from the company for a bit.
Okay.
Which
I'd much rather have El Desperado in this position than Taichi.
Oh yeah, me too.
El Desperado's good.
If it had been Despi, Iizuka, and Saber, the team I would have liked to have seen would have been Despi, Taka, and Saber. That would have been the team I would have been 100% on board with.
Yeah,
for
I'm
a
okay with
Suzuki Gun.
That's a good team.
That would have been the team of winners right there.
Mm-hmm.
But alas, we can't always get what we want.
No, but if you try sometimes, you just
might
find
you get what you need.
Next,
Amen,
we
sir.
have the
Only non-title.
Next, we would have the Honorable George, the Memorial George Thai food match if it wasn't being aired at like 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure the Thai place is not open at 3 a.m. 3-star Cody Rhodes versus Kota. I could have been wrestling Kenny Omega, but I got usurped by Chris Jericho, Ibushi.
Ah, that's a hell of a surname.
Well, middle name.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this match, it's a lot more unpredictable now that Cody doesn't have the belt.
Yeah, I think Ibushi wins this.
I think Ibushi wins this. I'm still word around the campfires that we're getting our big blow-off Omega Ibushi match down the line.
Yeah.
That will get lots of time and have a nice build. Sounds like the semi-main at Dominion, to be honest.
Yeah.
Dominion 6/11 or whatever the date is this year at Osaka Joe. It would not, because where they can get like 25 minutes to have a great match, because those two deserve a great match. They've been partners for a decade. First in DDT and then freelancing and all that other stuff. But as far as Cody with Brandy and Kota Ibushi, you're going to get the sleepwalking Kota Ibushi. I mean, he'll do the Golden Triangle and he'll do his stuff, but he's not going to. There's not going to be delayed.
He's not pulling out the.
He's not pulling out the delayed, springboard dragon suplex like he did against Nakamura. He's not going to be killing himself. And Cody Rhodes just doesn't do that. He's a WWE trained wrestler whose gimmick is that he has bad matches. Is almost like part and parcel of the Cody Rhodes experience. So
yeah,
I mean, this will be, if we're lucky, 3.5 stars. Right?
I mean, every excuse me, every single one of those stars that gets accumulated is going to be the responsibility of Kota Ibushi to get, because he's got. We're not getting. He's got to sell this match in spite of Cody Rhodes.
We're not getting. The Ibushi from the opening night of the G1 who had something to prove.
Especially
we're getting fourth from the bottom, Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, especially against freaking Cody Dolph Ziggler hair.
What in the God's name?
I don't even want to think about that.
Look, no good. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I will not watch this match. Well, I only have a couple hours after the show to watch the matches before we podcast. I'm not wasting a minute of them on this match.
See, here's the thing, though, and this is the one reason why I'm going to be paying close attention to this match.
Oh, I'll watch it eventually. I'll watch it that weekend, but I'm not watching it before then.
I'm going to be paying close attention to this match because I think this is going to be the kind of the signal light showing us where Cody Rhodes is headed. If this is going to indeed lead to Cody Rhodes becoming unhinged and trying to wrest control of the Bullet Club from Kenny Omega, or if this is just going to be Cody Rhodes saying, well, fuck you, I'm the ROH World Champion, and then not showing up in New Japan very much anymore.
He only shows up, he doesn't show up for any of the tours, but he shows up for every pay-per-view. It's very strange.
Yeah.
They parachute his ass in. Nobody in Japan cares about him. You can hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
He doesn't do any of the tours. He comes in for the big shows. They must be paying him a decent penny. Otherwise, they wouldn't fly his ass, across the world.
Yeah, we wouldn't be bringing him in from fucking Georgia.
Yeah, for no reaction and no heat and mediocre matches. I don't get it. I haven't gotten the Cody Rhodes experience on the Indies. He draws, and God bless him, he draws, and he tries hard. He's not lazy. He's just not very good.
Yeah.
I'll give the guy his props. He doesn't sleepwalk. He's just,
He's just not as good. He's not as good as he thinks he is.
He doesn't fit the upper mid card standard of work rate excellence in this company.
Yeah.
He doesn't. There's 15 guys I'd rather see in New Japan ahead of him.
If anything, I would give this spot to a guy like Juice Robinson, who has worked his ass off all fucking year. I would give this spot to. How great would an Ishii Ibushi match be? Oh my God! Get a repeat of their G1 match.
Yes,
which was superb.
I mean, there's 7 dudes in the gauntlet match I'd rather see versus Kota Ibushi.
Yeah,
seriously.
Yeah.
I'd rather see. I mean, I'm looking at the list. Like, I'd rather see Beretta versus Kota Ibushi. That'd be great.
Sabre versus Ibushi again.
Sabre.
I'd be all in for that.
I'd be all in for either member of War Machine.
Yeah.
I'd be in for I'd even be in for El Desperado, even though he's a junior technically. Like, shit. I'd love. You know what I'd be here for? How great would like a Yuji Nagata Kota Ibushi match be?
Oh my god, that would be spectacular.
Or Satoshi Kojima or Hiroshi Tenzan Kota Ibushi match be? Like, come on, man. Like, this isn't complicated. Yeah. But instead, like, they inexplicably love Cody Rhodes.
Honestly, I think that the other thing about this with regards to Cody's actions following the result of this match, because I think Ibushi does win this match.
So do I.
And
especially once they took the belt off Cody.
I think that the way that Cody reacts after this match is also on a larger meta scale going to be indicative of where Ring of Honor's place in the four-company relationship that New Japan is currently maintaining is going to be going into 2018.
Last.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think that, you know, depending on what Cody does after this match, and, you know, in the, you know, like, say, month following this match, going up to New Beginning, if Cody isn't really doing anything significant going forward, I think that's going to be a signal of ROH's, you know, time as part of the New Japan agreement growing short, and that Rev Pro is going to be slowly but surely taking their place instead.
That's a problem, because ROH has been had a great year business-wise, but that's been built largely on the backs of Cody and the Bucks and the New Japan people coming in for big shows.
Yeah,
and if those two things go away, and the Bucks are free this time next year, the Bucks will be free agents. So WWE may just back up the Brinks truck. You know,
I don't know. I think that they've given that they've made too many enemies there with how much bad blood that is
I don't
said,
know if
said
that
to be.
actually matters as much as they think it matters, or as much as we think it matters. Like, if Triple H comes to them and says, "We'll give you $1 million each," they're going to say yes, as they should. And I think he may.
Like, I've heard that H is actually a staunch opponent of having them in there.
Then Vince may bring him in just to fuck with him.
H and Booker T and a couple of other, you know, big names I've heard.
At this point, if Booker T says something, I'm inclined to believe the opposite, just because of how terrible he is.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Like the word is that one tryout they had. They apparently had a tryout a couple of years ago, and like the word was that at that one tryout they had, they were disrespectful to a lot of brass. And that kind of made them, made them persona non grata with a lot of people.
Maybe. Times change, though.
Yeah, true.
The Ultimate Warrior came back.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
No. I'm not saying it's going to happen either. I'm just saying my greater point is that a year from now, Ring of Honor's church has been built on sand, not rock. And a year from now, if the New Japan relationship and the Bucks go away, then that could be big problems for Ring of Honor. Like,
absolutely.
Because New Japan is 100% a draw for Ring of Honor, and the Bucks are a draw. So
you just reminded me of an excellent song called "Built on Sand" by a band called Solution 45, and I may end up using as the title for whatever show it is that when the song comes crashing down around ROH, because it will eventually. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Like they have been last in the pecking order for a very long time, and it's no secret that Rev Pro is rapidly becoming a better and more beneficial ally to New Japan than Ring.
Other than the Bullet Club and the New Japan guys, and the Bullet Club are New Japan guys because the Bullet Club is in New Japan stable.
Yeah.
Who's Ring of Honor's draw? I like Dalton Castle a lot, but he ain't putting butts in seats. I like Jay Lethal, but he's not to the level that they're doing.
Yeah, and not same thing. Not the Briscoes anymore either.
No, those guys aren't the draws that they were or could be or are the level of the Bucks. So,
and the sad thing about it is that a guy like Dalton Castle could have been but
Yeah.
could have been that big draw if they had only thought to capitalize like a year
When it was
earlier.
hot. And then he got hurt, which wasn't their fault, but still.
Yeah, still though.
Them not belting him a year ago was 100% their fault.
Yeah.
So I don't have any more thoughts on this match. I think Ibushi wins, though. I think that's a pretty safe assumption.
Yeah,
I hope
absolutely.
Ibushi wins, I should say.
I don't get
the Cody thing. Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get it on a meta level of we hate WWE, but like the we hate WWE neckbeards are hitching the wagon to Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
This is where you are. You're that desperate. You're that desperate to find somebody to stick it in Vince's eye that Cody Rhodes is your avatar.
Let's also point out one very important thing here. The anti-WWE train is entirely conducted by ROH and a few select U.S. indies. New Japan is not anti-WWE.
No.
New Japan is perfectly happy to be working on a parallel rail from WWE. They're like, if anybody knows the New York City subway system, they're like the ACE train versus the 456 train.
Yeah,
opposite sides of town. They both go north-south on the same route. They don't really ever join up, but they're doing the same thing, just on opposite sides of town. But it works. That's essentially what New Japan and WWE are in right now. They are opposite sides of town, doing the same thing, and both doing it, as effectively as they can.
One of the most tiresome things on the internet is I like New Japan, therefore I hate WWE. And
I hate that.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
It annoys me to no end. Like, it irks me. It irks me to no end. I mean, like, I am burned out on WWE, but that is independent of how much I like New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
In the summer, when Raw was the Brock, Roman, Joe, Braun Strowman show and was awesome, and New Japan was the Okada, Omega, Naito, Tanahashi show and was awesome. Like, I like both companies.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
So, I don't understand. Like, I hate that. There's no corners here. Like, there's no corners. You don't need to stick to your corners. Like, you're allowed to like lots of different things.
Yeah. And that applies across all fandoms too. Like I was talking with Shannon from the Married Marks last night. She was lamenting how she had a friend of hers try to lecture her about 90s comics, which she is a huge fan of and knows more about than most people. But this friend of hers thought that they had a right to lecture her just because she's also a big fan of anime and manga, and therefore assumed that she didn't know what she was talking about with regards to 90s American superhero comics. And it's like, people can like more than one thing and be knowledgeable about more than one thing.
It's not, there's no partisanship here either.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's professional wrestling. You're allowed to like WWE and hate New Japan independent of one or the other. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but whatever. People are stupid. So we're not. We're smart as bleep.
Yep. We are smart as bleep.
Tag match.
Tag match, yes.
Killer Elite Squad, your champions, Davey Boy Smith and Lance Archer, versus the LIJ representatives, Evil and Sonata.
Everything is championship.
Yeah, I think they win this.
Oh, absolutely.
Did not like the finals. We talked about this week ago. Did not like the finals of the World Tag League.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, whatever. This is just going to be like 9 minutes of whatever,
Yeah. I think that might have been a chemistry thing more than anything. Sure. I don't know if the Gorillas necessarily have the best chemistry with the LIJ guys, but that's okay. Either way, it served its purpose of getting Evil and Sonata into a more defined role as a duo tag team, which makes sense for them. Give them something that's a little bit different from what they're doing, but still allow them to function together because they do work extremely well together. Obviously they work extremely well with Bushi as well. That's why they were the triples teams for as long as they did. But Evil and Sonata have great chemistry, and more importantly than that, and this is the thing which is why I believe them to be the winners of this match more than anything. They have insane charisma and the ability to get the crowd invested in everything that they're doing without any effort whatsoever. By contrast, Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Lance Archer are boring as a pile of sand.
Yeah, they're
And watching their matches is like throwing a box of rocks around. It's really not going to result in anything entertaining for me at all.
Yeah, they do nothing for me, which is too bad because I like Davey Boy Smith Jr. But he's not a brawler. He's being booked as a brawler. He's like a guy who suplexes people. He's like a mini Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
But here he is brawling for some stupid ass reason. He's not very good at it. Yet that's what they do because Lance Archer's so limited.
Because Lance Archer is fucking waste of space and time.
Yeah, he's very limited
in every conceivable way. Lance Archer is legitimately just bad.
He also does not fit the standard of work rate in this company.
Yeah, no, he absolutely does not.
Yeah, I have no real thoughts in this match.
Yeah.
Let's get to the good parts. Oh, sorry.
I expect Evil and Sonata to win. I expect it to be a fairly short match. I don't expect it to be nearly as entertaining as last year's tag title match was. But
with Profanity Central?
Yeah, the Profanity Bowl.
That was awesome. That was the best part of the match, was the Profanity Bowl.
Yeah. Fuck that shit. I hate you, motherfucker.
Yeah. Fuck you. Yeah, it was just
so good. So good. That was the match that made Tangaloa for the year. It's so good. But yeah, I mean, Evil and Sonata should win and will win, I believe.
I agreed. Let's get to the good part of this show.
Yeah. Although I don't know if this necessarily is the start of the good part, but it's definitely a start of an improvement on the part from the.
I got a problem with the structure of this match. We're talking about Minoru Suzuki versus Hiroki Goto. Loser not only loses the belt, but he also loses his hair.
Yeah.
Now, I got a problem with this, and I'll tell you why. But you know what this match should have been? Hair versus belt. Goto puts up his hair, and Suzuki puts up the belt. Suzuki has the belt, and Goto wants a shot. What does Goto have that Suzuki wants? Goto has his hair, that luxurious hair. So Suzuki says, I'll put up my belt if you put up your hair. The hair is the cost of admission. Just like in Borderlands, you got to pay Iridium to be able to fight the raid boss. Goto's got to pay his hair as a token, to get the belt.
Yeah, but see, Suzuki also has been cutting the hair off a lot of other people. Has been cutting the hair off a lot of young lions and other people because he's Suzuki and he thinks he's some sort of all-powerful tyrant, and that's the reason why I think he is.
Part of the reason he's an all-powerful tyrant is because he's a champion, though. You take away the man's championship, you take away a lot of his legitimacy.
No, not Minoru Suzuki. Not Minoru Suzuki. You gotta remember, this dude has been assaulting the shit out of young lions and ringside personnel and whoever else he fucking feels like for the entirety of the year since they came back to New Japan, just because he's Minoru Suzuki and he doesn't give a shit about authority or anything else, and he hasn't had to be in a situation where he's faced any real consequences. Even losing the belt, and he did lose the belts. He won the belt and he's actually held the belt. Oh, I think about it, but even losing the belt is not going to temper him in any way because he's still Minoru Suzuki and he still hasn't had to face any real consequences. So I think that putting the hair up in addition to losing the belt actually is sort of a way to symbolize to Suzuki, you know what, you're not invincible. You're not above the law. And I think and I also think that because Goto's hair has been a part of his look for as long as it is, that I think Suzuki loses this match and loses his hair as well.
It would be the most Goto thing. It would be the most Goto thing ever for him to lose this, though.
Yeah, it would. But Suzuki doesn't have a lot of hair to lose either, so it really won't make that big of a difference.
Do you think? Two questions for you, and I'm going to ask you this first question for all these matches.
Before you do, one other thing to note: there's another stipulation to this match that matters.
I was getting to that.
There are no seconds allowed.
Do you think there will be no seconds allowed?
I do.
You don't think Al Desperados will be running down that big ass aisle at any point or anything? Do you think there will be? Do you think Suzuki keeps his word? I think it's going to be all or nothing. I think it's either going to be that there are no seconds that show up, period,
or else once El Desperado comes running down the ramp, Yoshi-Hashi's going to be right the fuck behind him to kick his ass. That's what I think. It's either going to be all or nothing. But that's the way it's always been. Well, actually, no. That's actually not the way it's always been. It's actually been the exact opposite of that. It's only been recently that when Suzuki's been breaking the rules that Chaos has started to break them right along with him. So I think that if it does come down to Suzuki tries to break the rules again, then it will be absolutely all or nothing. And you'll see Yoshi-Hashi and Gedo and Jado run out there as well to second Goto as needed. So
I think Suzuki loses this match, which is good. The heel should lose. He's been the heel.
I agree.
Every now and again, the heel needs to lose. In fact, the heel needs to lose all the time, like sooner or later.
Yeah, and Suzuki hasn't lost to Goto, since he won the belt from him.
Let us assume that there is no interference, because the interference automatically just kills the match for me. I'm tired of Suzuki. I'm not even wrestling tired of Suzuki-gun. I'm just like legitimately tired of Suzuki-gun.
Yeah.
Where do you think how many stars do you think this match gets?
I'm going to say 3.5. I don't expect this to be like a mind-blowing match, but Goto's been having a good year. Suzuki has been having a good year. I think that the two of them are going to put something together like they have done.
Yeah, I think if there's no fuckery, I think this could be like 3.5, maybe even 3 3/4.
Yeah. No, I'm not expecting a fucking masterpiece.
No. And it's not in a position to be a masterpiece. It's gonna be relatively short.
Yeah. But I think that the hair cutting bit is going to be is going to be quite enjoyable if it is Suzuki who loses.
It's got to be Suzuki. Suzuki has to lose. The heel has to lose here.
Yeah.
So
this is not a situation where Suzuki winning serves any purpose really, because it's like, okay, Suzuki wins, so who's his next challenger? Because that's really all that there is left after that. It's not like Goto losing is going to be some great giant emotional turmoil.
No,
not
for Goto, not the guy who always loses.
Yeah.
Next, you got anything else to this match before I move on?
No.
Next, we have the IW Cruiserweight. Wow, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship 4-way. Marty Scurll, your champion, versus Hiromu Takahashi versus Kushida versus Young Will Ospreay. I'm on the record of saying that it should have just been Takahashi and Ospreay.
Yeah, me too.
But we're here. But, you go to war with the army you have, not the army you want. And this is the army we have. Kushida and Takahashi work well together. Yeah. Kushida and Ospreay work well together. Scurll and Ospreay work well together. Scurll and Takahashi work well together.
Takahashi and Ospreay work well together.
Bonkers.
Yeah, Takahashi works well with everybody else in this match.
So does Kushida.
Kushida works hell with. I don't know how well Kushida and Marty work together, but other than Marty, I mean, Kushida works insanely well with both Hiromu and Will, and Will works well with everybody in the match. Although I don't know how Will works with Kushida.
No, but I know Will and Marty have unbelievable matches.
Will and Hiromu are the two that work well with everybody in this match.
Yes.
It's really the Kushida-Marty interaction that is unclear.
But this is just going to be some crazy-ass spot fest.
Yeah.
Guys are going to be like jumping off of like high things. It's going to be awesome.
Marty's going to be the weak link in this match because Marty is not...
Unless he works with Will the entire time, which he may very well do. Wow, use your words, Georgie boy.
Even then, though, like Marty has never been like a work rate superstar.
No, but he works really well with Will Ospreay. He always has. He's done it in Red Pro, done it in Ring of Honor. Their Best for Super Juniors match was excellent.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, and Kushida and Takahashi are good enough that they can quote carry unquote Marty Scurll in the few minute segments that they have.
Yes.
Plus, it's not even carry. It's just going to be like Spot City.
True.
It's gonna be like eating an entire bowl of like M&Ms, just nothing but a sugar rush.
True.
Who wins?
Honestly, I don't know. I hope to God that Hiromu wins because
I think he does.
He needs it, but at the same time, like there are legitimate arguments that could be made for any one of the other three guys winning. And let's be honest here. Even if Hiromu does win, there's no guarantee that Hiromu winning is going to give us the result that we want, which is to get back to, Hiromu, the living weapon. That's what we want. But and I'm not as anti-Daryl as you by any stretch, but all the same, Hiromu as the living weapon is far better than Hiromu the Catman. That's just reality. I'm sorry to say it, but it is just reality. But I'm hoping to God that we get the ticking time bomb.
Yes.
Make his return and getting the win. If we don't get that, then I would want it to go back to Kushida. I don't like Marty Scurll as the champion. I'm not on board really with Marty. He's just left a sour taste in my mouth from the very first moment that I knew about him, and it's never really gone away. And Will I have other issues with that I'm not going to get into, but I hope it's Hiromu, and barring Hiromu, I would want it to go back to Kushida.
Yeah, one of those two.
And if it goes back,
I'd much rather it be Hiromu.
If it goes back to Kushida,
the LIG sweep.
If it goes back to Kushida, then I want a full reset where none of these other three guys are challenging him for at least 6 months, and I want to see other people going for that belt like Dragon Lee, like a Dragon Lee junior heavyweight title reign in Japan for 3 months or so, like going into Sakura Genesis or going into Dominion. I'd be all on board for that. So if Kushida wins, I want a full reset. If Hiromu wins, then I want him to pick up again on the feud with Ospreay, or to pick up the feud with Kushida again, or hell, even go back to Dragon Lee. You can even do the Dragon Lee thing with Hiromu too, because I mean, there's never been a time where they haven't worked well together. But
you're right. I think this is the LIJ coronation show. So therefore, your friend of mine, the Time Bomb, wins.
I hope so.
And I expect that. What do you think this will be? 4-star match? 4 1/4?
I'm gonna go conservative and say 3.75. Okay. But I would be shocked if it didn't exceed that.
This match would be bonkers.
The key, of course, as with any multi-man junior heavyweight match, cruiserweight match, whatever you want to call it, is to not cross the line into being so bonkers it's unwatchable.
True. But these four know what they're doing. They're not dumb.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's 4 of the 4. Will and Takahashi are top 20 wrestlers. Kushida's right behind them. Mm-hmm. And Scurll gets his gimmick so well that he could mask the fact that he's not a great in-ring competitor.
Yeah.
So, next we have Hiroshi Tanahashi and his absurd perm and championship versus Jay White and his flat baby face for the IWGP Intercontinental Championship.
This may be the match that I'm actually looking forward to the most on.
I am excited. First of all, it goes without saying this is far and away the biggest match of Jay White's career.
Yes.
And the number 2 is not even close to what this is. Like, I cannot. Maybe a Ring of Honor house show main event. Maybe.
Let's put this in.
Seriously, like what? I can't.
Put this in perspective. Jay White has never held a title in any company ever.
Nope.
And he is now in this match going for the number 2 title in the second biggest wrestling promotion in the world. And he's probably going to win.
Not only that, I read this in today's Observer. Hiroshi Tanahashi has main evented 10 of these shows, Chris. Mm-hmm. 10. We call Shawn Michaels Mr. WrestleMania. Tanahashi is Mr. January 4 Dome Show / Wrestle Kingdom. This is his turf. He does not have bad matches on this show. He does not have bad matches. If this match is bad, it will not be his fault.
Absolutely.
It will be Jay White's fault, and he will be dead in the water. If this is a boring, dull, lifeless, sloppy match, I guarantee you, Geto ain't blaming Tanahashi. I guarantee you that. You right?
Yeah.
This is it, Jay White. No pressure, kid. You're 25. No pressure. Step up. Make a break, son.
Yeah.
I don't envy the kid at all. That being said, I expect this to be excellent.
Yeah, and I don't
the bits I've seen of Jay White I've liked a lot.
I don't believe that Jay White is going to let this down because
I don't think he will either. But I'm saying if he does, it could be it for him. It could be curtains.
Well, this is a kid who, right now, I mean, there are two people from New Zealand that are, well, three technically, if you really want to get if you really want to get technical about it. There are three big name wrestlers from New Zealand that are currently in the mainstream eye, and one of them isn't even a native New Zealander. First is Bad Luck Fale, who doesn't make his association with New Zealand at all a big deal for him. The second is Dakota Kai, formerly Evie, who has been out of the public spectrum for quite some time while she's been in the Performance Center for WWE. And the third is Jay White. Jay White is right now carrying the mantle of New Zealand wrestling on his back as he goes into this Tokyo Dome show to try and make it known that New Zealand is a hub for great wrestling, and that New Zealand is a great place to look for new talent going forward. And I believe he has every desire to step up to the plate and say, yes, everything that you're hearing is true. I'm the example of that, and I want to represent my country by going out there and winning the second biggest title and the second biggest promotion in the world. But more importantly than that, though, even more important than that, this match is a lot like a match that we saw just recently in WWE, where Jason Jordan faced John Cena.
Ooh,
before that, going back 2 years, when Sami Zayn faced John Cena
and blew his shoulder out.
But even after blowing his shoulder out, had a fucking barn burner blockbuster match.
Yeah,
this is a chance for a kid who is a relatively unknown quantity to a lot of people, even the people who are in that dome, because he's been on excursion for so long. He's a relatively unknown commodity to a lot of those people. This is a chance for him to go out there and say, I'm going to go to work against the guy who has been the guy for as long as you can remember. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show that I am every bit his equal, despite being 15 years younger than him. And I'm going to put on a match that you are going to be talking about for months to come. So I think this match is going to be something spectacular. And I'm looking forward to this match more than any other match on the card. And I think that Jay White gets the win here and wins the title. And I think that Jay White is after that is going to announce his allegiance as the first Gaijin to join LIJ.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yep.
See, I hate any. Ooh. Now you have intrigued me, my friend. I think Jay White. Let's get this part out of the way. I think Jay White wins. I think this will be a 4.25-star match because they're all in on the guy. They are all in on the guy.
Yeah.
In New Japan, they don't half-ass this shit.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm going 4.5. I'm predicting 4.5 for this match. For the record.
Sure. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
I like Jay White and LIJ. I love their chemistry so much that I'd be reticent to disrupt that.
Yeah, no, I would be too. But here's the thing.
But I like it. I like it.
The whole idea about LIJ is that it's every single one of those guys
and outcasts
has a very different personality, but their one defining trait that unites them all is the fact that they started alone. Jay White came back from excursion alone. Jay White made his mark, chose to make his mark alone, and I think that that's going to be his defining moment here. Is that he's going to take his place alone. And then after he's made his mark, much like Takahashi, after he came back from excursion in late 2015 or late 2016, when Takahashi came back from his excursion at the end of what was it? It was a Power Struggle.
Yeah,
when Takahashi made his big return at Power Struggle, and made his mark by immediately putting his claim down on Kushida's title. It was only after he did that Naito came forward and said, here's our offer. Take it or leave it on the spot. I think we see that happen after Jay White's first title defense at New Beginning. I think Jay White's going to defend that IC title against somebody. Maybe not Tanahashi. Maybe Tanahashi, maybe not.
I think Tanahashi gets the surgery after this, by the way.
I hope so.
I think he takes a little bit of time off.
I genuinely hope so.
As do I.
But yeah. Whoever Jay White faces for the belt in New Beginning, I think after that moment is when Naito's going to come out to the ring. I think Jay White's first defense is going to main event the first of the 2 New Beginning shows. And when Jay White's in the middle of making his speech, you're going to hear Stardust Genius hit. And Naito's going to come out there and hand him that hat. And you're going to get a fist bump. And then everybody's going to lose their fucking shit because the 2 top titles and the heavyweight tag team title are going to all be united in one stable.
I mean,
be the first time that's happened in
a long time. Maybe the old Okada Nakamura days of chaos.
Yeah, exactly. Not since Okada Nakamura.
I have to look at the timeline, but that's the only thing I can think of when Nakamura had the Intercontinental and Okada had the IWGP the first time.
Yeah, late or even the second time, late 2015 into 2016.
True.
That's also a possibility.
Yeah, this match should be good. This match should be damn good.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Because Tanahashi's having a pretty great year.
Yeah,
and Jay White, I know, can bring it.
Yeah.
Despite his injury, and Jay White can bring it.
Yeah, absolutely. Next.
Let's talk about a match that will not be as good, but I am still nevertheless excited for because the build has been good.
Yes.
As we talked about, Omega versus Jericho for the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship. No disqualification match, which tells me this will be a bloody, emphasis on bloody, crowd brawl.
Yes.
Great. I don't want to see 48-year-old Chris Jericho try to go spot for spot with Kenny Omega. It ain't gonna work out.
Hell no.
It ain't gonna work out. Chris Jericho's lost a step. But you know what? He still gets his gimmick. He's still a great promo. He's still a great character. He can still get.
And honestly, what other direction could you go in after having Chris Jericho give Don Callis a code breaker and then having him throw a table at Omega?
And Omega took the table.
And Omega took the table straight to the face.
That was like watching 1983 Memphis. It was awesome.
It was amazing.
It was so good.
Great stuff. Chris,
man, if 2017 has taught us anything, it's that what's old is new again.
Yes.
When it comes to the graps. You know?
It's spectacular. It's amazing stuff.
And it's fun. I find it funny that Omega's gimmick is basically I have awesome matches. Yet he's not going to have an awesome match, but that's okay. It'll be entertaining.
Yes.
It'll be fun. It won't have top rope one-winged angels and dragon suplexes and guys landing on each other's heads and other bullshit, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. This match should be good. Now, I have 2 questions for you. 1, star rating. Think about that.
I think it's only going to be about a 3-star match, but that's okay.
3.5 tops. Tops. Yeah. Unless they do something like where it's like 6 minutes of just blood. You know what I mean? And the guys just beating the shit out of each other.
Even then, that's not always a recipe for success. Even then, sometimes that can go horribly wrong. So, I'm going conservative here. I'm going to say no more than 3. But
my number 2 question: is this a one-off for Chris Jericho?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question.
I am a slight yes on that. By the way, slight yes. Gun to my head, I think it's a one-off.
Yeah. I have a question for you.
Sure.
Who, if anybody, do you think gets involved from outside the match?
Oh.
Huh. I haven't thought about that.
Oh, I don't know. What you got?
I think that we get Don.
I didn't even think of that. You just kind of blindsided me.
I think that we get Don Callis hitting Chris Jericho with something at some point during the match.
To lead to the finish.
Probably to lead to the finish. Yeah.
I'm not thrilled about that. It wouldn't shock me. It would make sense. It would make narrative sense. I'm not thrilled about non-wrestlers interfering.
Neither am I.
I mean, maybe Cody comes out. I don't know.
If Cody comes out, I think it will be to. If Cody comes out, I think it will be to cost Omega for the match.
Maybe.
I don't think that they're going to go that route yet.
No, not yet. That seems like a new beginnings.
That seems like a Sakura Genesis moment leading to Dominion.
Yeah. I think Omega wins this match.
Yeah, I do too.
I sincerely hope we don't get the post-match handshake.
Not me either.
I don't think we will.
I want Jericho to walk out of there bloody and
holding his head and
obscenities and giving all those epithets about how this isn't over. You haven't seen the last of me. Yeah. And then I want him to fucking disappear.
I don't know. Yeah, I think this is a one-off, but I'm not sure.
Yes.
I think. So I'm excited for this match. I mean,
I hope that the
build has been far better than I ever could have thought it would have been. Omega's shown range.
Yeah. I sincerely hope that the match lives up to the build.
Yes.
The build has
been quite good. Going. And then you got anything else in this, by the way, before we move on to the main event?
Oh, I have a lot for the main event.
Main event. Your friend and mine, Mr. Kazuchika Okada, versus your friend and mine, Mr. Tetsuya Naito, for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Chris, they have built Naito up perfectly. They gave you that little title run in 2016, which was like, the hot and sour soup before you get your Mongolian beef for the Chinese place, a little appetizer. And then right when he was finding his footing, they took it away and they kicked his ass down to the upper mid-card. And they kept him away from the title belt for all of 2016. He had an okay G1. Not a great, okay G1. Right? He was feuding with the Intercontinental. He was bouncing around. And then they started pushing him back to the top of the card. Won the Intercontinental title. Held on to it for a long time. Had some great matches. Tanahashi. Elgin. Tanahashi again. Lost the Intercontinental in time for the G1. Won the G1. And now we're off to the races. And now, this guy who was dead in the water 2 years ago after failing his first run with the IWGP Championship after winning the G1 in 2013, goes on excursion, he comes back, and he has 15,000 people chanting his name at every show. This guy has reinvented himself, has changed everything about himself. And this guy is going to be your next IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And when it happens, it's going to be awesome because they built him perfectly.
I could not agree more with anything you said. Now, you talked about that side of things. Let me talk about the other side.
By all means.
It should come as no surprise to anybody who's listening to this show and anybody who has eyes that Kazuchika Okada is by far the best in-ring wrestler on the planet and maybe one of the best wrestlers in every aspect of the art form of all time.
He's 30.
This man is a savant that leaves me speechless. Every time he goes out there and does the impossible and does something that makes him look even greater and more powerful and more significant and more talented than I thought he was before. Every time he goes out there and wows me with something new, I am left questioning, who is there that can ever be as vital and important to this art form that we love so dearly as he has been? Because he has been the glue that has held this company together amidst a roaring change throughout so many things. The losses of Nakamura, Styles, Gallows, and Anderson at the start of 2016. The slow build-up of LIJ that needed all the time that it needed in order to get off the ground and work in the way that it did. The transition of the Bullet Club from being the vicious Gaijin stable into being this weird tweener, comedically motivated but still cheating stable that doesn't really know what it is anymore. So many things that have kept New Japan in a state of flux. The constant of it all has been that Kazuchika Okada has been there every step of the way, putting on superb match after superb match, leaving the audience breathless every single time, sitting at the top of that card without a thought or care in the world as to why Tanahashi is still there behind him, without a thought and a care in the world as to why everybody else is clamoring for Omega to be the big one, without a thought or a care in the world as to why the crowds are cheering the LIJ anthem at the end of every show. It hasn't mattered to Okada, because Okada understands and knows that he is a once-in-a-lifetime talent, and as long as he continues to do what he is doing, everyone around him benefits. He gets the business, and he gets the art. There is, simply put, no one like him right now. And as you said, for a guy who is 30 fucking years old to be able to make those statements about him, it's a gift. We are living in gifted times.
Enjoy it.
It have this man blessing us with such incredible displays of work.
It's enjoy it. It just enjoy it, because you blink and it's going to be over. Because that's just how time goes, man. No matter what. And Naito is going to win this match. I would be astonished if he does not.
Yeah.
Just because.
Even after Naito wins this match, and Naito is, it would be a crime against the company for Naito to not win this match. Even after Naito does win this match, Okada is still going to be there.
He is the sun that everything revolves around in this company.
Yeah. He's still going to be the guy at the top of the card who is still going to be just blowing it away, no matter what he's doing. Even if he steps away from the title for a while and goes and does something else, he's still going to be blowing it away no matter where he sits.
That's it. Even if he bounces down to tags or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if he has the fuck around, never open weight 6-man tag run to kill 3 months, or you know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Yeah, it won't matter.
The sun that the entire universe of this company revolves around. He's the 200 million yen man.
Yeah, and with good reason too.
And he is a wrestling genius. A genius.
Yes.
We forget the star ratings for a second here, and we have waxed poetic about the star ratings.
Yeah.
He's drawn 10% more crowds at every show. This has been the year of Okada.
Yes.
In every way, shape, a guy has owned this year. In every way, shape, and form you can own a year.
Yes.
Next year is the year of Naito, though. And why is it the year of Naito? Because Okada's going to lay on that mat in the middle of that dome and put him over.
After taking
Destino in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3. That's how you give a guy the rub.
It's probably going to be the third Destino, but it'll happen. Let me tell you something else. And let me tell you something else too. This is not going to be the last time we have the year of Okada either.
It will not be.
And remember that, because the other 3 guys that I mentioned, Kenny Omega, 34 years old. Tetsuya Naito, 35 years old. Hiroshi Tanahashi, 41 years old.
He's the old man. They went 25.
All three of those guys are going to be out of this company before Okada is. Okada is going to have at least one, if not two, more runs like this that are going to leave everybody wondering how the fuck this guy is not considered already one of the best of all time. And people who know, people who educate themselves who know, he is. He is.
Just this year alone, he started the year conquering Omega, right? He beat Omega at the Dome. Then he had the match with Ibushi / Tiger Mask W. Then he had the match with Suzuki. Then he had the other match with Omega. Then he had the G1 where he had unbelievable matches with everybody. Everybody.
And even in between all that, Shibata. Fale.
I mean, he got a 4-star match out of Cody Rhodes. That's like getting a 7-star match out of somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, not only the stars, he's popping houses. Chris, 40,000 people are going to watch him lie down because he's gotten them invested.
Yes.
He's had an all-time great run with that belt. And enjoy it, people. Enjoy. You know what, man? It's like a comet bursting through the skies. Because you look up and it's gone. But it's just how good this guy is, and especially the way he does it.
Yeah,
he doesn't fall on his head. He doesn't do flippy boy shit. He beats you with a clothesline, an arm trap clothesline. It's Bob Dylan. You know? It's John Lennon.
If I can give any single thing to be a selling point for New Japan World, more than anything else, let me say this. After Okada lays down on that mat for the third Destino, and Red Shoes counts 1, 2, 3, and then puts that belt around Tetsuya Naito's waist. The following weekend, I fully intend go back on New Japan World and watch those title matches that are absolute goddamn classics, works of art,
just like the random G1 matches,
the most beautiful exhibitions of professional wrestling
that we can
point to. Because Okada had 6 out of my top 10 matches of the year. 6.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have my ballot with me. I'm in the same boat. Like, off the top of my head, my number 1 match of the year was Sakura Genesis.
Yeah, mine too.
I know that with a bullet.
Yep.
I loved Okada Omega 3,
mm-hmm.
and I did not hate the other 2. Don't get me wrong, but I thought the third was the best.
Okada Omega 3 and Okada Omega 3 and 1 both made my top 10.
I have waxed about how excellent Okada Kojima from the G1 was.
Yep.
And that was like 12 minutes long.
Yep.
And that was pure story. There wasn't spots. There were no spots in that match. That was Okada, the cocky shit heel, which you never see against the plucky old guy who thinks he can get it done, but just quite can't do it.
Yeah. My other ones were Okada Evil.
Yes.
And
I mean, let me see who else was in that block. 2017.
Okada Suzuki.
The second one.
Yeah.
The first one was bad either, but the second one was excellent.
Yes.
I mean, where is 2017? Okay, Okada.
Oh, wait, no, that's right. No, it was only 5 because Okada Suzuki 2 wound up being like number 12.
We're not even talking about.
Even still.
We haven't even talked about Okada Robinson. We haven't talked about Okada Elgin, which was unbelievable.
Okada Robinson. That was the other one.
We didn't even talk about Okada Elgin, which was unbelievable. With the double spinning powerbomb that he kicked out of. Like, I mean, what more does this guy have to do? He's incredible. Right?
Yeah.
Like, he is. It's just. And This title run has been perfect.
You cannot say enough good things about Kazuchika Okada.
Perfect.
And we will be saying a lot more. I don't see him even sniffing this belt again until 2019.
For a while.
But he is going, even when he is not at the top of the card, he is still going to be an absolute force to be reckoned with. While he is feuding with LIJ, and while he is feuding with Suzuki-gun. Because those feuds are going to continue. But I foresee him being, still being, the face and name to remember going through 2018, even without him being at the top of the card.
He's it, man. You know what? I mean, he is not my favorite wrestler, but he is the best wrestler. He's not we all have our favorites. He's not my favorite, but he is the best wrestler in the world. And it's just the things he has done with that belt. He has elevated a belt that's 50 years old and that Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer has worn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's everything you want in a head of the company.
Yep.
Everything. So, and now it's Naito's turn. And I have no doubt that Naito will have an unbelievable 2018. And the big wheel keeps on spinning.
Yep.
Chris, if this match is anything worse than 4 3/4 stars, I will be bitterly disappointed. That's how high the bar is.
Absolutely.
I am expecting this to be a top 5 match of the year.
Absolutely.
In 2018.
Hands down. I would say
I would be shocked if this was only quote unquote 4.5.
if this is not a top 3 match of the year for me in 2018, it will be one of two things. Either one, the match will have been absolutely complete shortfall travesty of what it should have been, or two, 2018 will be an even better in-ring year than 2017 was.
Exactly.
Which I don't believe to be an impossibility.
Oh, no. Wouldn't shock me.
Working together, who have already proven how much chemistry they have. Because they have insane chemistry.
As much as they both nail the little things, as great as sellers as they are, right? As great as pacers as they are, as great as timers as they are. I mean, they are like, cannot wait for this match. Cannot wait.
Can't wait.
Like, I don't know. I am.
That's all I can say about it. I mean, pretty much the chat has gone silent because I'm pretty sure every single one of them knows.
Yeah, that's it.
What more can you say?
That's it. I mean, it's 2 of the 3 best wrestlers in the world.
Yep. Doesn't get any better than this.
Who are gonna get 40 minutes to put on a clinic?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, this is why I love this shit. You know, it's why I put up with a lot of bad wrestling for stuff like this. It's for this show and this match. 40,000 people, Chris. They're gonna increase their capacity by 50% in 1 year, and it's because of Okada and it's because of Naito. It ain't Chris Jericho, not in Japan. No. Chris Jericho may be popping houses here, and maybe getting subscribers to the world here. Maybe, we don't know. But in Japan, where the money is made with no TV, they're gonna draw 15,000 more people in 12 months, and it's because of these 2 guys.
So. We've talked in the past about matches that you would want to show somebody who knows nothing about wrestling, just show them what it's about and why we love it. I firmly predict that even with this New Japan layout of matches that oftentimes makes the beginning of the match superfluous, even with that, this match is going to be number 1A with a bullet on my list of matches I would show to people to explain to them why I love wrestling.
Yep, Flair Steamboat. Thanks, Adam. Flair Steamboat. 2 of the best, having 3 all-time great matches. That's it. This match, if this match breaks well, could be a Pantheon level match.
Yep.
Like, if you build it all up and everything that goes into it, and the Okada reign and the Naito chase and everything else,
yeah,
that's it. It will be the perfect capstone to an unbelievably enjoyable year. So That's it, man. I think we've covered the show.
That it is.
So thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah. Let's do the usual business and get out of here.
Plugs.
Yeah. Next week, we'll be talking again about all this shit that we just talked about for 2 hours. We'll be talking about what actually did happen versus what we think is going to happen. So come on back for that episode 43, the first episode of the new year.
It'll be like hours after the show ends. You'll get all our fresh takes.
Less than 24 hours after Wrestle Kingdom 12.
Oh, like
ends.
12 hours. Like the show is going to end like 7 o'clock my time in the morning, and we'll be on that night.
Yeah. So less than 16 hours later, we will have your Wrestle Kingdom 12 recap. So if you, I hate saying this because I always want all of you to be here, but if you don't get to watch the show live and don't want spoilers, don't be here. But if you don't care about spoilers, or if you do watch the show live, or both, well, obviously both can't happen. If you watch the show live, then it won't be spoilers. But regardless, if you don't care about spoilers, or if you watch the show live, or even if you watch the show during the day before we go live on the air, be here next week. We're going to talk more about Wrestle Kingdom 12. We're going to talk about what happened. We're going to talk about how our predictions differed from what the results were. We're going to talk about what we think the results are, what we think the actual results that happen will lead to going forward for the month and the year following Wrestle Kingdom, and whatever else happens during the coming week, all the other news that's fit to print. We are always going to be discussing that, anything that is worth our time and worth your listening. Sure to check out all of our friends. First of all, our two compatriot podcasts and Los Ingobernables de Podcast on Friday nights, Busy's Wacky World of Wrestling with Don Sal Guzmano and 14 Fitzpatrick, and on Saturday mornings, Shooting Debris with Taker's Media and Mr. Dr. Senju. Especially this week, Saturday, for Shooting Debris, starting an hour early, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be doing Shooting Debris' year-end awards show, the Golden Bullet Awards, first annual, where at least 5, possibly all 6 of us from LIP will be joining together on one show.
It's going to be
discuss our personal year-end awards for the year in professional wrestling that has been in 2017. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. So be here for that. If you are around, we certainly would love to see you in the chat for that show as well. 10 a.m. this coming Saturday morning, December 30th. You can find Shooting Debris on YouTube to find their channel and get in the live chat for that show. If you are going to be around at that time, we would certainly love to have you. We've also got all of our friends and affiliated podcasts, The Married Marks, Not Your Demographic, and the Face Off Feministas. You can find them on all major podcasting syndication networks and through all social media platforms. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at 2guys1sport, number 2, number 1 in the handle, and follow us on iTunes. As I said at the beginning of the show, the link is in the description of the video below. Give us a rating, give us a recommendation, and of course, tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody you know to come and listen to us on Thursday nights, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, because we love to see you all in the audience. We love to have you all here interacting with us. It is the highlight of this show for us, and we thank you, as always, for being here.
Y'all are good people for putting up with us.
Yeah.
We sincerely appreciate you hanging out with us every Thursday.
Yes.
We will be doing a special run-in, as Chris alluded to, Saturday morning, 10 o'clock his time, 9 o'clock my time. Shooting the Breeze with a bunch of people. Don Sal Guzmano, Taker's Minion, Dr. Senju. Mm-hmm. As always.
It's going to be a fun time.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Maybe I'll have some mimosas. Get a little rowdy. As always, thank you sincerely for listening. Y'all are good people. Chris, you're a good person, too.
You are, too, George. Even if you
who yell at me on Twitter all day, y'all are good people, too. Why the hell not? I'm in a giving mood. Enjoy the Dome Show, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back the 4th, the day of the show. Have a safe, happy, and healthy New Year. Do not drink and drive.
No, please don't drink and drive.
Especially on that night, because it never ends well.
Yes.
Take an Uber or a Lyft or cab or have someone drive you. Don't be stupid.
Yes.
Public service announcement. Don't be dumb.
Yep. Less
That's it.
important than that. Don't work yourself into a shoot.
Oh, yeah. Don't work yourself into a shoot and don't drink and drive, especially on New Year's.
Yep.
That's it. I'm George. That's Chris. As always, a sincere thank you for listening. This has been Two Guys, One Sport. Enjoy the new year. Enjoy the Dome. And thank you again. We will talk to you 1 week from tonight with your Dome show recap. Chris, take us out.
Episode 42 is in the books. And 2017, my friends, is in the books. Good night.
Good night, everybody.